Green Shalster Spark here, and today I'm going to give you all a comic slash cartoon show slash movie character review on Tintin, who was created by a famous author by the name of Hershey. And believe you me, he is amazing. Hershey made the Tintin comic book series through the 1930s to the 1970s. And believe you me, let me tell you about him. In Tintin in the Condo, it tells about Tintin in Africa. And believe you me, it is amazing. And in Tintin in America, he has to take down some gangsters, including Al Capone. Cigars of the Pharaoh? Let's just say he had to solve a mystery in Egypt where he countered some cigars that is in a tomb. And next thing you know, he had to rescue a professor who is also in trouble. Let's just say he had to follow some clues that lead him all the way to India, where he tracked down an evil cult. Not to mention finding the mastermind behind it all. And in the Blue Lotus, he had to go to China to solve this sort of mystery. And it turns out the mastermind behind it all was Rostopopoulos. And believe you me, he was not happy about Tintin ruining his organization. But he got arrested in the end. And in The Broken Ear, let's just say Tintin headed for South America to find a lost idol, where he tracked down some 2 smugglers. Not to mention he got drafted by a General Alcazar, who's leading a revolution. Well, luckily he went back where he started and he tracked down the 2 crooks and let's just say he found the idol, but he also lost the diamond. And next thing you know, Tintin and the crooks fell out of the water. But luckily he survived, but the 2 men drowned. But in the cartoon version, they survived. And in the Black Island, let's just say Tintin had to hunt down a couple of crooks, who was also doing some counterfeiting. And next thing you know, Tintin had to run in with some crooked doctor by the name of Mueller. So he had to go to a black castle, some sort, and there he encountered a gorilla. But at the end, he captured him, and in the king's Ottokar scepter, let's just say Tintin had to go to Avia. And next thing you know, he had to stop a band of crooks who were stealing a scepter. But at the end, he got it back. And in the crab with the golden claws, Tintin had to solve a mystery of some sort of murder. And next thing you know, that's when he met Captain Haddock on his ship. But luckily they now escape. And they ended up in Bakar, where they hunt down some crooked pirates who were selling drugs. And in the Shooting Star, let's just say Tintin encountered a flying comet who went right past them. But they had to sail all across there to escape. And next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, they took a sample of it. And in The Secret of the Unicorn, Captain Haddock tells Tintin about his ancestor, Sir Francis Haddock. And next thing you know, he tells him that his ancestor once fought an evil pirate by the name of Red Rackham. But Tintin and his friend encountered 3 unicorn ship models, and next thing you know, he encountered some crooks known as the Bird Brothers. But they got arrested. And in Red Rackham's treasure, let's just say they found the coordinates to find a lost treasure ship. And next thing you know, the Bird Brothers ended up on that island. But in the cartoon version, they didn't. But luckily, they found the treasure. And the 7 crystal balls? Let's just say Tintin had to solve a mystery about some archaeologists were poisoned. So, next, they had to rescue their friend Cuthbert Calculus from a band of Indians. And believe you me, it was treacherous. And the prisoners of the sun, let's just say they went to the Incas to save Cuthbert Calculus, but they get captured and it was about to be burned. But luckily an eclipse stopped it. Whew, was that close call. In the land of the black gold, let's just say several cars ended up exploding. So next thing you know, Tintin had to go to the desert and solve a mystery. And next thing you know, he encountered with his old enemy, Mr. Mueller. And believe you me, it was pretty. But luckily they captured him, and next thing you know, the Thompsons ended up swallowing some pill, and let's just say it wasn't good. And Destination the Moon, let's just say Cuthbert made a rocket that shoot him off to the moon. And explorers on the moon, let's just say Tintin and his friends ended up in the moon. And believe you me, it was great at first, but they encountered some sort of treachery. But at the end, they made it back home alive. And the Calculus affair, let's just say they had to rescue the pal Calculus from a group of international spies from Bodoria, led by Colonel Spons. But luckily they rescued him and they escaped there. And the Red Sea Sharks, let's just say Tintin to solve a diabolical mystery. Well, actually, to find the Pasha. Yeah, but luckily they found him. It turns out, let's just say, he encountered one of his old enemies, like Dr. Mueller and Roscopopolis. Believe you me, it is not good. And in Tintin, in Tibet, Tintin had to go to Himalayas to rescue his friend Chin. The next thing you know, he encountered the Yeti. But luckily he found his friend alive. And in the Castafiore Emerald, let's just say a rare emerald belonged to a diva by the name of Bianca Castafiore. But luckily they found the jewel that was stolen by a magpie. Whew, was that a good one? And in flight 714 to Sydney, let's just say they flew across an unknown island where they encountered their old enemy, Roscopopolis. And then they encountered a mysterious man who he believed they had an encounter with aliens. Whew, was that crazy? And in Tintin and the Picaros, let's just say Tintin and his friends has to rescue the Thompsons, and Bianca Castafiore was being held by an evil dictator named Tapioca. And believe you me, he was mean. But luckily, they encountered their old friend, General Alcazar. And next thing you know, they encountered their old enemy, Colonel Spons. But luckily, they defeated him. And believe you me, It was amazing. They even made a TV series about him, like Hershey's Adventures of Tintin, 1962 to the 1966, based on Hershey's comics, and also The Adventures of Tintin from 1991 to 1992. Also the same stories. And believe you me, amazing. Even the movie versions, good. Like Tintin, The Temple of the Sun, based on the two comics, like The Seven Crystal Balls and Prisoners of the Sun. Oh, was that good? And also in Tintin and Lake of Sharks, 1972. Let's just say they went to Saldavia to visit their friend Calculus, who invented a duplicate machine. But next thing you know, trouble strike, and they had to rescue a couple of the kids from his old enemy, R.J. Ruskopoulos. Whew, was that close. But at the end, they defeated him and brought back stolen artifacts. They also made this movie, The Adventures of Tintin, from 2011. And believe you me, it is amazing. Let's just say it's based on The Secret of the Corn. Well, let's just say it was amazing, it was thrilling, it was cool. I give it a thumbs up. But what if the series was rebooted and on Nickelodeon? Would that be something? And not to mention, let's just say Tintin would bring back home a female Cocker Spaniel from America and join him on his adventures, including with Snowy. Boy, would that be fun. Tell me what you viewers think.